First thing first, let's set our broiler to 500 degrees in preparation to roast some poblano peppers. Place 2 poblanos on a foil-lined cooking sheet and put them into the oven on the second from the top rack position so that the peppers are roughly 4 to 6 inches from the element. Put them in for about 6 minutes. After that 6 minutes, you can see that the skin is beginning to blister and it's time to flip the peppers, then back in they go for another 6 minutes. Actually, now is a really good time to remember to put the jalapeno on the tray for roasting as well. I often use serranos, but jalapenos is what I had today and they will work just fine. But being smaller than the poblanos, the jalapeno or serrano will roast more quickly. Okay, so time to flip everything again. We're working on blistering the skin of these peppers evenly, and they need another 6 minutes. So back in they go. Looks like the poblanos are definitely finished cooking now, so we're going to remove them and put them into a paper bag to steam the skin for about 10 minutes so it's easier to remove the skin. The jalapeno, however, needs a little more time, so back in it goes for another, you guessed it, 6 minutes. Okay, the jalapeno is done now. As you can see, it's nicely charred and the skin has burst a little in one spot. Perfect. Now we're going to dice 1 large clove of garlic and put it in the blender along with this jalapeno that we chopped up. Then it's time to pull our poblanos out of the bag and remove their skin, stem, and seeds. You can rinse the seeds off of the flesh if they're especially sticky. That goes for the skin as well. But then we're going to chop that flesh up and toss it into the blender with the garlic and jalapeno. At which point, we're going to take the top half of a bunch of cilantro and the top half of a bunch of flat leaf parsley and chiffonade them things and toss them into the blender as well. To our blender now, we will add 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar and 2 teaspoons of salt, and then blend into a puree. And sometimes you might have to add a few tablespoons of water to get it going, but only add enough liquid to turn it into a puree. The finished product should look similar to pesto. Okay, so we're going to take 2 pounds of the highest grade of fresh ground pork we can find, and to that we will add our puree and mix until fully combined. Use a spatula to ensure you get all of the puree you can out of the blender into the bowl. I'm mixing the pork and puree with a spatula here, but I highly recommend you use a fork. It will go so much more quickly and more easily. Once combined, we'll need to cover the mixture and put it in the fridge for at least a few hours and preferably at least overnight. That way the flavors can get to know each other. Okay, when you're ready to cook, we're going to get a large skillet over medium heat, add a few tablespoons of olive oil, and then add the chorizo mixture and spread it out evenly and try not to crowd the pan too much. You're going to cook it down, stirring occasionally, ensuring that nothing is sticking to the pan, and you'll continue to reduce until all of the water has been cooked out. Now it's time to make our tacos. I'm going to take a couple of warm tortillas that I made earlier, and to that I'm going to spread some black beans that I also made earlier. Then we're going to put the chorizo on top of the beans, followed by some cotija or aged Mexican cheese, some cilantro and onions, some of your favorite salsa. I've gone with a roasted tomato salsa, and a lime wedge to garnish. Time to sit back and enjoy some amazing green chorizo tacos. don't forget to follow at Bobby Jam's Kitchen on YouTube and Instagram.